Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. It's very wonderful to see you all on this wonderful morning. Happy Rukmini Devi Appearance Day. We're continuing with our weekly reading of the Srimad Bhagavatam. We're in the first canto, Creation, chapter 13. Dhritarashtra quits home, and this is text 31. Ajata Shatrukrita Maitro Hutagnir Viprannatvati Lagu Bhumi Rukmai Griham Pravishtu Guru Vadanaya Nacha Pashat Pitaro Saubalim Cha. I'll read it 2 more times, if you permit. Ajata Shatrukrita Maitro Hutagnir Viprannitvati Lagu Bhumi Rukmai Griham Pravishtu Guru Vadanaya Nacha Pashat Pitaro Saubalim Cha Ajata Shatru Krita Maitra Hutagnir Viprannatva Tilago Bhumi Rukmai Griham Pravishtu Guru Vadanaya Nacha Pashat Pitaro Saubalim Cha. If anyone would like to try, the meter
Prabhu.
is quite beautiful. Yes.
अजातशत्रु कृतमैत्रुहुताग्निर् विप्रान्नत्वात् लघुभूमिरुक्मैः गृहं पविष्टो गुरुवन्दनाय न चापश्यत्पितरौ शौबलिं च. Thank you, Prabhu. Krishna.
You, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Ajatashatru Kritamaitro Kudagnir Vipranatva Tilako Bhumi Rukmai Graham Pravisto Guru Vandanaya Natsapshet Pitro Sobalimcha.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Ajatashatru Krutamaitra Hutagnir Vipranatva Tilago Bhumi Rukmai Gruham Pravishto Guru Vandanaya Nacha Pasyat Pitaro Sobalim Cha.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Shraddha Srila Prabhupada Teacher. Ajata Satru Kritamay Maitro Hutagni Vipram Natvatila Go Bhumi Rukmata Graham Pravisto Guru Vandanaya Nachapasyat Pitaros So Balitam Cha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Thank you. Jai Prabhuji.
अजातशत्रुः कृतमैत्रः हुताग्निर्विप्रान् नत्वा तिलगो भूमिरुक्मैः गृहं प्रविष्टो गुरुवन्दनाय न चापश्यत् पितरौ सौबलीं च हरे कृष्ण प्रभु
Jai Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I can try.
Jai Mataji.
अजातशत्रुः कृतमैत्रहुताग्निर्विप्रान्नत्वाथिलगो भूमिरुक्मैः गृहं प्रविष्टो गुरुः वन्दनाय न चापश्यत् पितरौ सौबलीं च. Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. Okay, so let's go to the synonyms. Ajata, never born. Shatru, enemy. Krita, having performed. Maitra, worshipping the demigods. Uta Agnihi, and offering fuel in the fire. Vipran, the brahmanas. Natwa, offering obeisances. Tilago Bhumi Rukmai, along with grains, cows, land, and gold. Griham, within the palace. Pravishta, having entered into. Guru Vadanaya, for offering respect to the elderly members. Na, did not. Cha, also. Apashyat, see. Pitaro, his uncles. Sobalim, Gandhari. Cha, also. The translation and the purport are given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Maharaj Yudhishthir, whose enemy was never born, performed his daily morning duties by praying, offering fire sacrifice to the sun god, and offering obeisances, grains, cows, land, and gold to the brahmanas. He then entered the palace to pay respects to the elderly. However, he could not find his uncles or aunt, the daughter of King Subala. Purport. Maharaj Yudhishthir was the most pious king because he personally practiced daily the pious duties for the householders. The householders are required to rise early in the morning, and after bathing they should offer respects to the deities at home by prayers, by offering fuel in the sacred fire, by giving the brahmanas in charity land, cows, grains, gold, etc., and at last offering to the elderly members due respects and obeisances. One who is not prepared to practice injunctions practiced in the Shastras cannot be a good man simply by book knowledge. Modern householders are practiced to different modes of life, namely to rise late and then take bed tea without any sort of cleanliness and without any purificatory practices as mentioned above. The household children are taken to practice what the parents practice, and therefore the whole generation glides towards hell. Nothing good can be expected from them unless they associate with sadhus like Dhritarashtra. The materialistic person may take lessons from a sadhu like Vidura and thus be cleansed of the effects of modern life. Maharaj Yudhishthir, however, could not find in the palace his two uncles, namely Dhritarashtra and Vidura, along with Gandhari, the daughter of King Subala. He was anxious to see them and therefore asked Sanjaya, the private secretary of Dhritarashtra. So the verse again. Ajata Shatru Kritamaitra Hutagnir Viprannatva Tilago Bhumi Rukmai Griham Pravishto Guruvadanaya Nacha Pashat Pitaro Saubalim Cha. And the verse is that Maharaj Yudhishthir, whose enemy was never born, performed his daily morning duties by praying, offering fire sacrifice to the sun god and offering obeisances, grains, cows, land, and gold to the brahmanas. He then entered the palace to pay respects to the elderly. However, he could not find his uncles or aunt, the daughter of King Subala. Narayanam namoskritya naram chaiva narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet. Shinvatam Swakata Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana, Hridyantastohya Badrani Vidu Noti Suhritsatam, Nashtaprayesha Badreshu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavati Utama Shloke, Bhaktir Bhavatir Naishtiki. Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Ukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim, yat kripa tamaham bande Shri Gurum Dinataranam, Shri Gurum Dinataranam, Shri Gurum Dinataranam. So, the chapter title itself was a spoiler. Dhritarashtra quits home, and now we are getting the hint that Maharaj Dhritarashtra and Vidura and Queen Gandhari are not to be found by Maharaj Yudhishthir. This verse begins with an interesting phrase, which is Maharaj Yudhishthir, whose enemy was never born, Ajata Shatru. So we know, for example, that there was one misspoken mantra in summoning what was supposed to be an ally of Lord Indra, but because there was the improper inflection or pronunciation on a single syllable, that um, he actually ended up being the enemy of Indra. Um, Sanskrit is interesting like that. Ajata it negates the jata, or that which is born or which appears. So ajata has not appeared. The enemy of Maharaj Yudhishthir. And sadhus are described like that, as friendly to everyone. Narada Muni, for example, when he was walking on one of his pilgrimages around the universe, he saw Nalakuvara and Manigriva, and they were intoxicated, improperly dressed, with women in public in a pool, and they didn't offer. What was worse than all of that, because by material calculation, it's not the best behavior, but it's standard for Kali Yuga. But what was worse is that they didn't offer respect to Narada Muni, um, who has everyone's welfare in mind. I mean, just think over how many devotees in the Srimad Bhagavatam are disciples of Narada Muni. Vyasadeva, for example, it was after clarifying with Narada Muni that this Bhagavatam is composed. It's after speaking with Narada Muni that Dhruva Maharaj took up his austerities and saw Krishna, or Prishni Garbha, Vishnu, within 6 months. It was by the instruction of Narada Muni that Prahlad Maharaj, within the womb, became a pure devotee. Narada Muni is also very clever. When he spoke to Prachina Barhishat, unsure if the king was going to take lightly his instructions, he created a whole allegory about King Puranjana to, to kind of stand on the side of King Prachina Barhishat and look at someone else instead of to directly criticize his life. So we can get an idea of what Chintamani is when we see the behavior of Narada Muni. Everything and everyone that he comes in touch with eventually attains their the soul's most prized possession, which is total absorption in Sri Krishna and service to him. To go back to Nalakuvar and Manigriva, however, Narada Muni cursed them to appear as two Arjuna trees on earth. But it was in what would become the yard of Nanda Maharaj. And what you may not know is that later in the Gopal Champu by Srila Jiva Goswami, we learn that Nalakuvara and Manigriva, in their eternally perfected spiritual forms, they are Snigdha Kanta and Madhu Kanta, who arrive one day in Vrindavan. And Nanda Maharaj asked them, well, what do you do? What are your special talents? And they very humbly say that, well, we're poets. We're reciters of stories. And Nanda Maharaj says, well, please entertain us. We're here with my boy, Krishna, and my brothers, Nanda, Sunanda. And we're having a meal. So would you please bless us with some story? And Madhukanta and Snigdhakanta look at each other, they offer obeisances, and they begin reciting Bhagavatam as they see it, or as they experienced it, as they saw it. After describing the appearance of Sri Krishna in Vrindavan and what happened at night, and how Jashoda and the other gopis didn't let Nanda Maharaj come in and until the day after, and all of the unguents and perfumes and wonderful incense and oil preparations that were offered to the baby Krishna the day after. All of that was described in detail, and Nanda Maharaj was so happy to hear about the stories of Krishna that he asked Madhukanta and Snigdhakanta to come every day and to similarly recite the life of Sri Krishna for the benefit of everyone assembled. So that was the result of Narada Muni's curse. So when we speak of Maharaj Yudhisthira, we should similarly think that the devotees of Sri Krishna who are dedicated to seeing Krishna within their heart in a particular relationship as their dearmost friend, guide, and shelter, and seeing themselves as equal to all other living beings, similarly see their friend and guide and well-wisher in the hearts of all living beings. It's actually with this vision that we can properly live what is considered the golden rule, or to treat others as we want to be treated. It's actually with this understanding that it becomes obvious and possible and necessary to 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 treat others as dear relatives. Maharaj Yudhisthira benefited so many people. We'll hear later that when Maharaj left the hermitage of the Muni, that he was wondering, was the Muni just pretending to sleep because he didn't want to offer me respect because Kshatras are lesser? Was he really in Samadhi and I just did a terrible thing? And he was really trying to understand what it was that caused him to act in that way. And Srila Prabhupada explains that both Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur and Jiva Goswami um, are agree that the arrangement was Krishna's plan all along. Because 5,000 years have passed, and every single day in cities all around the world, um, recited by strangers, if it weren't for devotional service, this Srimad Bhagavatam is being read because of the questions that uh, Parikshit Maharaj um, asked. Um, uh, uh, um, Parikshit Maharaj is the grandson or the heir of Maharaj Yudhishthir, and leading just like Maharaj Yudhishthir, he he gave us the benefit of reading Srimad Bhagavatam. I confused earlier Maharaj Yudhishthir for a moment. Pardon me, but we see in the behavior of Maharaj Yudhishthir what Srila Prabhupada describes as the proper behaviors for the grahastas. That one wakes early, like we do, or like we try to do. Something that stuck out to me was that in the fire is offered to Surya Dev in a similar way that Ganga Jal is offered to the Ganges, and the Maha Mantra is offered to Krishna. So it's a sign of appreciation for the sevaka to offer in seva that which they're grateful for um, to the enjoyer or to the receiver of yajna. So in the same way that fire is offered up in appreciation of illumination, of heat, in the same way that Ganga Jal is offered to itself, in a way that the sevaka recognizes that there is no water that is more pure than you, and so I have nothing else to give you that is of benefit but your own self. In a similar way, the bhakta um, is cultivating the consciousness that Sri Krishna, Sri Radha Krishna, Sri Nitai Sachinandana are that there is nothing above them, and that we're so grateful for um, everything in our lives that the only thing we have to offer back is their very name. And then we're given chances to speak on Srimad Bhagavatam as well, and to try to have a chance to offer some glorification to Uttama Shloka and to all his devotees. So Srila Prabhupada mentions here that the household children are taken to practice what the parents practice. This is a point that Sri Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad Gita. He says that whatever examples a great man sets, that common men pursue. And that is the case everywhere in life. That in the same way that scientists hypothesize that gravity works today, that a massive object creates the necessary attraction for smaller objects to be caught in its pull. Or in the same way that Sri Krishna attracts, or like we say in Gora Arati, in the same way that Gauranga Mahaprabhu is attracting the minds of all living entities by the very nature of his existence, similarly, the behaviors performed by people that we look up to attract us and teach us how to behave. When Srila Prabhupada came to the West, he taught us how to do everything. He taught us how to treat friends by how he treated his god brothers, and even how he just treated his disciples in the very beginning, with so much encouragement, with so much laughter and understanding. He taught us how to treat those who come to us with questions, which is with gravity and with compassion. He would sign all his letters, your eternal well-wisher. Um, and took so much time to answer the specific questions in the lives of all of his disciples. Um, and he taught us how to act towards superiors. Srila Prabhupada said, I've noticed in what I've read of Srila Prabhupada that the very few times that he mentions himself in literature, in what he writes, he only references himself either in relation to his Gurujanas or to his parents. It's very seldom that Srila Prabhupada will mention himself or say I in his books without mentioning his spiritual master before he does that. If you notice it, it's kind of a wonderful thing. That Srila Prabhupada wrote over 70 books, and less than 40 times mentions himself across. There's 18,000 verses in the Bhagavatam, and let's say that there's about 2 pages per verse. So that's, 36,000 pages in the Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, like in 50,000 pages, Prabhupada mentions himself like around 40 times, which is it's staggering. It's less than 1%. And when he does, it's in reference to his guru. So he taught us how to behave in reference to or in relationship with those that we look up to. I heard that it's the nature of knowledge itself, and it's the nature of reality, that the more knowledge we develop, the more humble we become. And that's why vidya vinaya sampane. It's not just said somebody that's in knowledge, but it said a humble sage. It's not just a sage, somebody that has a lot of knowledge, but it's a type of possessor of knowledge that also has humility combined with their knowledge. Sometimes we can get proud with the knowledge that we have. We can we can think that we're owed something by Krishna because of the knowledge that we have, or that the knowledge that we have should protect us from any kind of suffering. But that's not enough knowledge. More knowledge is that knowledge which leads to and supports and encourages bhakti. That, like Prabhupada said, when they asked him, "Do you know everything?" He said, "No, but if there is something I do not know and I need it for service, then Krishna will tell me." That's the type of knowledge that we want to cultivate. That all I need to know is what is the mission of my spiritual master? How is my spiritual master helping Srila Prabhupada? And how is Srila Prabhupada assisting all the devotees in the Sampradaya to push forward the mission of Mahaprabhu? Um, that's all that the disciple needs to know. All other knowledge that's necessary for our service will happen. Um, there's really no other way to concentrate and focus the mind, which is the first instruction of Nectar of Instruction. Well, Prabhupada in his introduction says that the first task of the devotee is to control the mind. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam, to control our speech, the actions of the mind, and the agitations of anger. Manashiksha is directed towards this. Krishna describes that controlling the mind is necessary in the Bhagavad Gita. Um, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam is an activity of the mind by which the concentration of the concentrative ability of the mind is dedicated towards meditating on the lotus feet of Krishna, the activities of his devotees. Because it's this mind that's directing us, directing our activities and emphasizing certain desires. Um, and so it's not only important for us to control our minds, but because there are other people that are looking at us as well. There's other devotees that are looking at us, what to speak of our spiritual masters, but there's other devotees in the community that are looking at us, our partners, our children, and people that are outside of the society of Vaishnavas. I heard recently that the proper attitude for feeling repentant is a devotee should think that I'm an embarrassment to the assembly of devotees. Actually, um, the fact that I'm in the assembly of devotees, diminishes the integrity or the appeal and the attraction of this glorious and sacred community. But I have nowhere else to go, and I simply pray that Krishna protect me from becoming a worse embarrassment or a worse offender. Um, because we've inherited such an amazing thing. Uh, we've inherited the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's very difficult to understand if it's not for the six Goswamis. Um, but he makes it easy by inviting us to participate, to come as we are, to distribute books, to listen to one class and to repeat what we've heard in that class to each other, to try to inspire each other like we're inspired. Um, and we should care about, like it says here, household children, but also children that are not in the household and people outside. Of course, we should first tend to ourselves. We should make sure that um, we are doing our best. And everyone knows that individually. One person's best will look different from another person's best in the same way that Sakya Ras is best and Vatsalya Ras is best and Madhurya Ras is best for those respective devotees. Similarly, what is our best is also respective, and we're going to understand what it is with serious introspection, by serious prayer and honesty. But then there's an interesting thing about our own advancement, which is that it's connected to the advancement of others, or it's connected to the empathy and assistance and compassion that we give towards others. How many times does Sri Krishna mention in the Bhagavad Gita that, yeah, I care about those who are practicing, but to those who teach this knowledge to others, those are most dear to me. Krishna says, Yada yada hi dharmasya, glanir bhavatir bharata. If we're parts of Krishna, then we're Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, he said this recently. He said that if we're integral parts of Krishna, then we have an integral part in his role also. And his role in the world is not to grab one person. It's to spread what is the proper mode of behaving to all living beings. And so it's not because we're compassionate people that we have to find some energy within ourselves to be compassionate. It's because Mahaprabhu is compassionate. It's because he wants everybody to chant, and we're just his servants. So that will help the energy flow properly. If we're trying to find, like it says over here, one who is not prepared to practice injunction described by the Shastras cannot be a good man simply by book knowledge. So it's not by some external adoption of a material quality that we're going to be good people. It's not by waving a flag that says, peace to people on earth, or behaving like people on earth behave that are promoting certain virtues or disinterested in other virtues. What it really means to be good is to beg, Krishna, please, Srimati Radharani, please, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, dear Nitai Sachinandana, please, can you please engage me in some service? Can you please allow that I can help the devotees that are really helping you? And then they will give those qualities, because real goodness is a quality of Krishna. You know, sattva gun in the material world is not interesting. It'll change all the time. It's relative. It's prone to permuting and looking different. I mean, what was good in American society just 100 years ago is not what's good today, and it's not going to be what's good within 20 years from now. And so that will only contribute to our anxiety of trying to chase a moving target. Granted, Krishna is a moving target, but in a different way. Krishna can be captured in the heart in a way that the material world cannot be captured in the heart, because Krishna is compatible with our hearts. But the material world is not compatible. It's like oil and water. You can't, wrap water around oil and have them become one in their interests. But Krishna and I, and Krishna and us, we can become unified in our interests. In fact, what is good for me, what I really, really want, Krishna wants that too. I really, really do want to be happy. I want to taste something real, and we all want to express our love, and we want to be surprised by the capacity that we have to reciprocate with everything that's been given to us. We don't want to feel like I'm just drowning in all this debt of what I owe people for all the great goodness that's happened to me. We want to rise to the challenge of I can love, I can reciprocate, I can give something back to Krishna, I can help somebody that's giving something to Krishna. So this real quality of compassion will come from observing these devotees. How does Maharaj Yudhishthir behave? His enemy is never born, and he performs his duties every day. He gives something. Yagya means that which is given up, and dana is that which is given down. So he's giving to the sun god. Thank you for the light. Thank you for you're going to make the sun rise, and we're going to have another opportunity to see things clearly. In the same way that we offer our respects to our spiritual master for opening our eyes, Timirandasya, Gyananjana Shalakaya, and offering obeisances and grains, cows, and land and gold to the brahmanas, who we owe everything to. It's the brahmanas that were sitting around Parikit Maharaj. It's the brahmanas that advised Maharaj Yudhishthir. It's the brahmanas that Maharaj Yudhishthir took advice from. And it's brahmanas that Srila Prabhupada wanted us all to become, because society needs people that see things how it is. There's so much confusion today, and there are so many people that are taking advice from confused people. I asked my god sister a question today. I confided in her. I said, "Is this a good thing or not thing?" And she instantly said, "Oh no, it's okay. It's totally okay." And I trust her, and that brought peace to my mind. And say that I asked somebody that isn't trustworthy. I mean, she has a lot of experience in the question that I asked her. Um, but say that I ask somebody that doesn't have so much experience, and then they say something to me, and I go and I follow their advice. I'm responsible for that, for following their advice. They're not. They can speak, but I'm responsible for following it, and I have to accept the repercussions. And we're all accepting the repercussions of, like it says, modern householders prepared to practice different modes of life. We all see in our examples of what politicians do. Instead of talking about what they will do beneficially for other people, they try to put other people down. And all of society is following that mode, that instead of standing on our own 2 feet and not being envious or needing to cut someone down, the way that we see success is to cut other people down, to criticize others, and to think less of them. That well, we live in such scarcity in the world, two people can't be successful. There has to be one. And who's advising them? They're taking advice from Vaishyas. They're taking advice from businessmen and say, oh, this is how you're going to get your brand out there. This is how you're going to talk to a lot of people. And who are the Vaishyas? getting attention from, or the Vaishyas are dependent on the Shudras to buy all their stuff. So it's a totally upside down world. And Prabhupada asked that we become Brahmanas so that we can speak intelligently to people and that we can communicate what's really valuable in a non-sectarian way, in a way that that it just makes sense. It makes sense to wake up early in the day to be calm because and we should try to understand this, not only through the perspective of the Vedas, but through the intelligence that Krishna has given us, not only because the Vedas say, but because when we wake up earlier, there's a higher likelihood of being situated in sattva gun because we're not being dragged by the mode of the world, which is, well, now it's moving on its own. We can wake up before the movement of the world and establish what our own first steps are going to be and be more intentional about how do I want to start my day. And we should pray. There's so much to pray for and to be joyous for. The other day, Dhanvantari Swami made a list of simple services, and the last simple service that he mentioned was smile for no reason. That is a simple service. And I love that. I'm always looking for reasons to use my mind less and to just be simple. Vaishnavas are simple, and I'm trying to be. And I think that smiling for no reason is very simple. So we should offer prayers and appreciation. And Prabhupada said that the prayer that the Vaishnavas should have is that, Dear Krishna, you can put me in forgetfulness or remembrance, and I pray that you never put me in forgetfulness of you. May I always remember you. And we should give whatever we have. We should give our respect to our partners. We should give our respect to all living beings. We should give respect to the Brahmanas, to the Srimad Bhagavatam by cleaning it and by opening it with respect and holding it kindly. We should give respect to our spiritual master, to the world itself, and then to pay respects to the elderly. If I could finish on one note, it'll be that the last sentence is he was anxious to see them and therefore asked Sanjaya. Um, Look at how many wonderful services there are for us to do. In the material world, um, because of our envy and our trying to replace the position of Sri Krishna, it's common for us to feel like success is just being the main character and being the person that everyone notices. But look at this Sanjaya character who shows up every once in a while, who is answering Dhritarashtra. He's not the first name in the Srimad Bhagavatam, or in the Bhagavad Gita, but he's the second. He's the devotee that at the end of the Bhagavad Gita is feeling ecstasy by by communicating. And he's in a similar position to Shukadeva Goswami in that he communicates knowledge to other people. But these aren't always the devotees that are most recognized, but it's such a great service to just communicate something, to be a bearer of good news. And, taking the blessings of Sanjaya, Maharaj, or Mahajan, and Shukadeva Goswami, Yudhishthira, and the assembly of devotees, I would like to impart some good news, which is that we're alive today in 2024 in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, and we have 12 or 16 hours of this day left to beg to become pure devotees, to really fix Krishna's lotus feet in our heart, to really fix the instruction of our Guru Devs, and to try to communicate to one more person the wonderful friend of Sri Krishna that is just waiting to be met by them. So that's what I wanted to share today. If anyone has uh, comments or corrections to the presentation, please feel free to share. Thank you so much for attending today and giving me an opportunity to serve you. I'm very grateful for this. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Danaraja Prabhu. Thank you for speaking nicely Bhagavatam. Anybody, and congratulations on being there at Shishi Rukmini Dwarkadish temple to serve. It's a wonderful opportunity. Anybody have further discussions, reflections, questions, comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances, Sal Srila Prabhupada. I joined a little late, Prabhu, but it was so nice to hear from you always. As you speak from from your heart, your realizations, very nice to hear, Prabhu. More especially, today you offer some prayer. You mentioned about some prayers, how we can pray to Krishna. So that made me realize actually, where I was and how I have to pray to the Lord every day. So I take that instruction to my heart, Prabhu, and I will try to meditate on the Lord and pray to the Lord. 2-3 times actually you mentioned the prayers, which were very nice, Prabhu. So thank you for reminding our situation and how our mood should be, and how our praise to the Supreme Lord, Prabhu. And also you have brought so many points from Jiva Goswami's Gopal Shambhu. It was very nice to hear the conversation between Sigdakanta and Manikanta, who were actually Yamala Arjuna, who have become Yamala Arjuna trees, Nalakuver and Manikriva, Prabhu. And so many points you brought up today, Prabhu, from your within your heart. So I really like your sharings always. You have a very broad vision, Prabhu. What I understood is, and you speak from that broad vision, and you make us actually mesmerized with your explanations. So thank you so much, Prabhu. I am really grateful for your explanations. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Danaraj Prabhu, Danaraj. Very nice class. Thank you so much.
Dandavat, Prabhuji.
I remember when we met you there. It was very nice. And I really liked your big japa bag. Do you have that with you so that we can all see it again?
Actually, Prabhuji, just because I don't ever want to lose it when I'm on the street, and sometimes when I'm distributing books, I notice people look at it a lot. I got a small job bag to just blend in a little bit more in the world. Thank you.
If others don't know, but Prabhuji has a big japa bag with big beads. It was the first. I was so mesmerized on seeing that. It was wonderful. I really liked your class. The point that stuck with me is smile for no reason. That was so nice. There's a lot that we have to be grateful for, and there's no reason to be sad or lamenting. So we have a lot to be grateful for. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Bye.
Any other comments or questions?
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. It is a very wonderful class. Especially how to respect devotees and granthas and Vedas and know what is going to the Krishna, and we have to respect, and then only we will get to perfect devotion to Krishna, in my understanding. Honest and this obedience is important for everyone. Because of that only we will reach Krishna. There is we should not show any egoism. That is my understanding, Prabhu. And thank you very much about this issues and everything. How to go to the Krishna and how to get the bhakti, and everything is there in this class. Thank you again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yes, actually, recently I heard that if we have envy for somebody else, it's unfortunate for two reasons. One reason is that we're not appreciating what Krishna has given to another devotee, and what may be worse is that we don't appreciate the position that we have in Krishna's life. which is very wonderful. So that stuck out to me. That's one reason that we should be just appreciative for everyone else, and to really be grateful for what Krishna has given us. It may not be what the mind presently wants, but it's what we need. It's what we need, and what's truly fulfilling the place that we're in.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Radhika Mataji and all other devotees noted you always speak from your heart and give a lot of important pointers how to live in this worldly life. And yeah, it's a lot of, I always take a lot of inspiration and motivation from your classes. Thank you so much again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you, Danaraja Prabhu, for speaking nicely and sharing your wisdom. And hope you're well and continuing nicely in Krishna consciousness and having lots of wonderful association and opportunities for service. Certainly sounds like you're very well engaged in Los Angeles. I'm happy for you. So Vanchakalpatrivesha Kripo Sindhaviyacha Litanam Pavnibhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha. So dear devotees, today we'll have His Grace Dhruva Prabhu giving a Zoom lecture about on Sri Nrsimha Bhagavan. He is very qualified, as I think most of you know, on this topic, in his lifetime of dedication and worship to Nrsimha Bhagavan. So he happens to be in Texas, but he kindly agreed to speak for today. Nrsimha Deva Appearance Day here is on Tuesday, and so I thought it would be nice to hear from somebody who's lived a life of dedication to Nrsimha Bhagavan. So please join. Email went out with a web link, and as well as WhatsApp. I think it's the same web link as for Bhagavatam. Is that correct? Like the Mother Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
So please join and hear from an expert on this topic. Okay, take care. Hare Krishna. That's at 11:30.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you.
Krishna, thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari.